I don't know what day we went offshore.
What I'm trying to get to is this happens on the 9th. Am I right on that? Okay? So, if you don't go out until the 7th, you go on your first time, go out the 7th, right? How long before you come back in the first run? Do you stay out there 4 days? Do you stay out there 3 days?
We may not have left until the 8th.
Okay.
Or the 9th even. I don't know. We left before the 9th because that was that Thursday.
Yes, it was.
We left before that.
Okay. So,
I think we got back in either Friday night or Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or Saturday night. I don't know.
Did you make any calls while you were out?
Can't.
Awesome. So,
I don't have phone service. We're 120 miles away from anything that resembles land except 3,000 feet straight down, and you don't want to see that. You'll never see that.
Okay. But he attempted sometime before that. And then when you come back, the deal's already done. And then do you talk to him at all?
No, I don't recall talking to him at all.
Okay. And then when your wife brings this conversation up and she tells you something's gone wrong, what does she say? That she's hysterical.
She wasn't hysterical. She was just
wigging out. I think was your words.
She was freaking out about it.
So now tell me what she talks about. Because there ain't no way you're going to tell me you don't know about it now, because he's been planning it with you and asking you about it and did a trial run beforehand.
I knew what she was talking about.
Hell yeah, you did. So tell us about it.
I knew what she was talking about, but we didn't have a big in-depth conversation is what I'm trying to tell you.
Was at any time her involvement part of the plan?
No.
In fact, you think she was involved?
I specifically told her not to be involved.
So how did you feel when you found out she was involved?
I was pissed.
Okay. And when was this?
When was what?
That you found out she was involved?
It wasn't until
the day she called you.
No, it was 2 or 3 days after the initial conversation.
Okay. So day 3 when y'all actually start talking about it.
Yeah, but you can't I can't say it was day 3.
Okay.
Because I don't remember. Let me tell you this. When she called me initially and told me, she said, "Do you remember that conversation you had with Patrick about what you know, the difference between what you know and what you think you know?" And I said, "Yeah, I remember that conversation. I had it with him several times. Why?" And she said, "Because apparently they didn't get anything. Apparently there wasn't anything there."
Okay.
And
you were pissed.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
You were pissed off.
I was pissed off because she knew that.
Or were you pissed off because you didn't get no money? She's obviously there. I know she's there. I know the safe's loaded in her van. Her van's parked right by the scene. And she told you this.
No,
and she's probably telling the other investigator this right now.
No, she told me that she was at home. And that her van was at home.
If we go over there and she tells us that she told you about this, what do you think that does with your deal?
She told me she wasn't there. She told me that because I asked her.
If she's there right afterwards, I don't care if she's there. Tell me what she knows. Tell me what she did. Because they use her van at the crime. The safe's in her van at the crime. They load up the guns after the event, and she's there. She's there meeting with them.
They buy the stuff they need with her van.
I don't know what they.
She discussed it with you.
She did. She told me she wasn't there.
So
she told
when
me
I
she
go to the other
investigator
after that, they're going to tell us the same thing, that you didn't know about it. You're supposed to come clean on this, man. This is supposed to be the truth.
I'm coming clean. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay. Well, what's
she
going to
told
happen
me
when
she was at home Thursday
you?
night? That's what she told me. She was at home Thursday night.
At some point, change her story though.
No, she's in fact when I was there when she called Charlie.
She was at home all Thursday night.
That's what she told me.
Well, that ain't what the witnesses were saying, because the suspects gave us full confessions on some of them, and parts of it, she's there with the van, almost, we have one that's telling us they're at your house beforehand planning. We've got witnesses that come forward that say they're at your house planning, and you're part of the planning, okay? Now, they're talking to her right now, okay? What you need to be is honest, because you've got a deal here. But the deal's contingent on you being honest.
I'm being honest.
Okay, well, you know more than what you're telling me.
I really don't know much more than what I'm telling. Honestly,
She was there. Patrick called her to go along the first time.
Okay. Did she go?
Yes. She told me she went.
So she went with them to the house when the lights came on, and they back out.
But she wasn't there. She was down the road.
Okay. She was the lookout.
She was waiting. Patrick said he needed her to give, because he was going to give her, I guess, whatever they got.
Did she tell you who was there with him? Was it the same crew that you saw on
No.
national television?
No,
Do you have different people that are helping him?
this is who I know was there. Gary.
Okay.
Gary was there.
Okay, so
Because I talked
Gary's
to
there,
Gary on the phone.
Pat's there, and you talked to Gary. What'd y'all talk about?
I told him, back out, fall off. Don't just leave it. Don't.
Here's what's concerning me. You're friends with Gary, right?
No, I only met Gary.
Then why the hell
Two or
is he
three
calling
times.
you
He
and
didn't.
telling you about it?
He didn't.
You talked to him on the phone? What
Yeah,
did you talk to him
Patrick
about?
called me. All three of them were in Pam's van. Pam,
Okay.
Patrick, and Gary were in his.
But he
were in
gets on the
Pam's
phone talking to you.
van. Patrick calls me on the phone that Pam has.
Okay.
All right.
So this phone call we get because it's Pam's phone calling you.
No,
And you're where?
it's Pam's phone calling me. She calls me and says that they're going to go do this thing. And she said, Patrick said he wants me to meet him. And I said, no, stay out of it.
And? Does she?
No.
Okay. And you know this?
Yes.
Okay.
I told her.
Like picking teeth. I ought to have a dentist license. Like pulling teeth, man.
I told her not to go.
Okay. Great. Tell her not to go. She goes anyway. Is she telling my other investigator this, I hope? I hope she is.
I
Because
don't
she's
know.
got the same deal you do. She has to tell the truth, right?
She said, yeah. She says, I'm going.
I hope the hell
She
she's
says
telling
he
her.
needs me to go, and I said, no, I don't want you. You don't need to go. You don't need to be anywhere around any of this. And she said, but he needs me. And I said,
What was y'all's cut? What was y'all's cut but supposed to be?
no, I don't know.
If she's going, she's getting a cut. Tell me. Everybody else
I
knew
don't
what their
know.
cut was. She's getting a cut.
I don't know.
And you don't know.
No, I mean we never talked about it.
Man, you're supposed to be telling the truth
I'm
here,
telling
man.
you the truth.
Okay.
We never talked about
Okay.
10% or 20% or
Okay.
50%.
She goes on the first run that's
I
failed
told-
ride. She don't know how much she's getting paid, or you don't know how much she's getting paid. You know she goes with you. You're mad about her going with it, and you don't know how much she's supposed to get paid.
Well, how can you know when you don't even know that there's anything?
Is there a percent you agree on it beforehand?
No.
Come on, you've done business.
No.
You know ahead of time how much your cut's going to be.
No.
If I'm getting a third, hey, you going to help me with how much am I getting? You know, dude.
No, I don't. There was,
You know.
We never talked about that.
Okay.
What do you mean?
and the reason that we never talked about it, the reason I never brought it up, was because I figured there wasn't anything there anyway.
Okay, so she's agreeing to do this out of the charity of her heart and wanting to help out a friend.
No, she's doing it because she thinks that
There's going to be money.
There's going to be money.
How much? He's talked to you. You said he talked. I can't. We'd have to play the tape back. Every day he's getting on you. Money, 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 money. What's your cut? He has talked to you
No,
about
he
your cut.
didn't talk to me about it. We never talked
Look,
about
I
it.
told you I'm a big fan of common sense.
I'm telling you the
Common sense
truth.
tells me you know what the cut is.
I'm telling you the truth. We never talked about it.
Why are you giving me up on this little one? This little
I'm-
bit, you know what the
why
cut's
are you
gonna be.
hammering?
What
I'm
does it
telling you
make?
the truth.
Because it comes back to you being honest with me.
I'm being honest with
Pisses
you.
me off when you're not honest with me.
I'm telling you the truth, man. We did-
Especially when it's kind of irrelevant.
It is.
That's what I'm
If
telling
you're
you.
not going to give me this, you're not giving me anything else.
We never talked about a cut.
Okay.
To my recollection, we never talked about
We'll
it.
go past the cut.
He was going to give me 10%. I was going to get 20%. Whatever.
That's that thing.
I never
We
talked.
never said that?
We never talked about
Ah, okay.
We
so she
didn't
goes
talk
on the
about
practice
it.
run. She goes on the practice run. It fails. You're mad. You tell her not to go on it. When's the next one planned? The night of the deed? That's the next time they go, I guess?
it. I don't know.
Did
I
you
didn't
talk
have-
to her? Did she go on any other failed practice runs?
No,
Did
not
she?
that I know of.
And she said she stayed out of this one, but she did go to the first one.
Yes,
How do you know she stayed out of the second one?
she told me that.
Okay. What did she tell you on the first one? That she was going to stay out of it?
No,
She said she was going to go. And I said, fine.
So you knew she was going to go on the first one, and you agreed it was okay.
I didn't agree that it was okay.
You said
I
it was fine.